we had rugby-wise, it probably wasn't our best year at Wasps, but we sort of had a squad going into this next season. We went to Budapest on an end-of-season trip. Like, we were a real close group. And then you start seeing these things on Twitter over the summer, and you're like, it goes in a WhatsApp group, you're like, well, that's fucking sketchy, innit, if we're being honest. And then, I guess a bit naively, you think, oh, it'll be all right. Like you say, you go to Castle Park, you play your first pre-season game, like another thing comes out, and you're a bit like, what we saying here, lads? And then I think we played 3 or 4 Prem games, and then it was getting real sketchy. Like, and then we got told that we were going into, they'd done an NOI, which is I forget what it's called, an intention of, they basically try to find a benefactor to save it. And that's when, for me, it got a bit, my agent was really good, to be fair. He was like, this isn't good. We need to start looking at other options. But we got fed at that point that it's not great, but we're going to be all right. Like, everyone at ease, there's loads of people interested. Fucking Mike Ashley wants to buy it, all this sort of stuff. And then that sort of went on for a few weeks. And then, like I said, like, I'm sure, you've watched it and spoke to loads of lads, obviously being an ex-Wasps Academy lad, that, yeah, we just get called in one day. We were meant to play Exeter at the weekend. Team had been named, but the structure of the day was a bit weird because we had a meeting at the end of the day, and we basically got told going into administration on Monday we'll not play at the weekend. But again, it got sort of said that, going into administration is not the end of the world. That can be a good thing, And I went, all right. At that point, how is that a fucking good thing? Got to laugh, but like, my agent had been pretty good. Like, a few weeks before that, he'd been like, this isn't looking good. But I think, even though I'd been told that, and me and Rachel spoke about, like, what we're going to do if this goes tits up, you still don't quite believe it. Anyway, that Monday comes round. I remember me and Cruzy drove to the training ground, and there was press outside, and we're like, that's not great. Walk in. Some guy called Andrew Sheridan, not the Andrew Sheridan, stands up, the administrator, and he's like, you're all redundant, and everyone in that room is fucked, essentially. Do you know what I mean? You've just all lost your jobs. And yeah, very surreal, like, men, women, like, in floods of tears. And yeah, it's something that'll probably stick with me forever. Just because, like I say, like, if I go back to when we started this bit, like, it's the families and the friendships, and kids were friends with each other. Do you know what I mean? My kids and, like, the other, like, Cruzy's kids, like, they're all friends. That, do you know what I mean? Like, we were such a close group, so it's it's brutal really.
Players cry out for honesty, don't they? And a lot of the time they end up holding their tongue for the greater good of the group, and you don't want to be disruptive and all those sorts of things. Did anyone call bullshit halfway through this? Did anyone say, look, you cannot tell me there's nothing sketchy going on?
So we, very lucky. Joe Loxbury, unbelievable captain, speaks really well. He asked all the right questions, and he spoke on behalf of the players really well. And you'll know Jack Willis pretty well as well. He just shoots from the hip. So anything that Launch maybe wouldn't say, he would fire into them. And they were really good. Like, they asked anything that the players wanted to be asked. Like, they'd speak to people individually in groups. Like, is there anything people want asked? We'll ask it. And they were class, to be fair to them. But there was nothing anyone could do, do you know what I mean? Unless someone had 70, 80, 90 million that they just wanted to put down the money. So, like, you have to laugh now, but it was fucking really sad. It's it's quite a weird feeling going home, dropped Cruzy off, went and picked my daughter up from childcare, and I went home and told the wife that I don't have a job. Do you know what I mean? It's not nice.
How did that go down?
I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever said it to anyone. I didn't cry until I got home and seen Rach. I just felt like I'd let down my family. Like, what's my goal? And provide a good living for my wife and my daughter. And I felt like I'd failed. So there was a lot of emotion in that room. I guess I was more shocked. It only really hit me when it got home.